Welcome back. I'm Matt Gates filling in for Rob tonight. Is the U.S. government covering up evidence of aliens? Congress just held its most thorough hearing on UAPs, or unidentified aerial phenomenon, and the revelations were jarring. We heard from senior national security, intelligence, and Department of Defense officials who reviewed UAP reports and drafted UAP policy on behalf of our government. Here's what they had to say in response to our questions.
Could a human survive those G-forces with known technology today?
No.
No, not for the acceleration rates that we observed.
What about what they look like? How close did you get? Did you see a seam or a rivet or a section?
So we got within a half mile at Tic Tac, which people say that's pretty far, but in airplanes, that's actually relatively close. No, it was perfectly white, smooth, no windows, although when we did take the original FLIR video that is out there, when you put it on a big screen, it actually had two little objects that came out of the bottom of it. But other than that, no windows, no seams, no nothing.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
Non-human biologics. My jaw almost hit the table when I heard that. And today, White House spokesman John Kirby gave a response so lackluster, it might read to some as an artful dodge or even part of a cover-up.
We believe is that there are unexplained aerial phenomena that have been cited and reported by pilots, Navy and Air Force, that these phenomena have, in some cases, had an impact on our training ranges, on our pilots' ability to fly, train, operate, and stay ready. That alone makes it a national security issue worth looking at. We don't know. We don't have the answers about what these phenomena are.
The White House doesn't have answers, but we have to get them. I can report exclusively to Newsmax tonight that I've joined Representative Tim Burchett, Representative Anna Paulina Luna, and Democrat Representative Jared Moskowitz in calling on Speaker Kevin McCarthy to establish a freestanding select committee of Congress to get to the bottom of this UAP issue. Representative Moskowitz joins me in this effort, and he's with me tonight. Jared, we need subpoena power. We need to access secure spaces. What are your burning questions after this hearing?
Well, Congressman, thanks for the opportunity. Well, I mean, listen, you were there. You listened to all of the testimony. I mean, one of the most interesting questions, obviously, is that it's clear that the United States has a UAP program. And what's also most interesting is how are we funding that UAP program? I mean, we heard testimony, obviously, from Mr. Grush that the way we're funding that is a misappropriation of funds of Congress. We're overpaying for items from our contractors. And so this is all about transparency. There's clearly more information that is known. This is a bipartisan, nonpartisan, bicameral group that has come together to fight on this. As you know, Chuck Schumer in the Senate is trying to lead an effort for more transparency. So Congressman, I got a lot of information in that hearing, but I think I left with even more questions. And if we have to get that in a classified setting to begin, so be it.
You mentioned the bipartisan nature of this endeavor. It certainly makes fights between Republicans and Democrats look silly if we're going to have to fight the aliens before it's all over. These witnesses talked about specific experiences, specific flights, reports they had received. You were there in the room. You're an attorney. Did you find the witnesses credible?
Well, let's separate the two. So the pilots, obviously, these are fighter pilots. These are decorated veterans. These guys have exemplary records. There was no doubt that they were credible. And their interactions with these UAPs are no different than other pilots who have interactions. And you heard John Kirby admit that pilots are having these interactions with UAPs. And so I found that testimony to be very credible and obviously alarming. It's a national security interest at best. At worst, obviously, it's the United States government that is operating these UAPs potentially. Listening to Mr. Grush, obviously, there's some things that were jarring when he talked about, non-human origin bodies that have been recovered.
Sure.
But I found his testimony most interesting on the program that he was a part of, on about UAPs, on about how
Yep.
he believes contractors are involved in that reverse engineering technology.
Yep.
I think that's where I would like to continue to pull that thread with him.
No,
in the
we
classified
absolutely need
setting.
to.
Yeah,
No, we need to do it. Thank you for joining me on the call for a special select committee, and thanks for joining me tonight. Very much appreciate it, Congressman Jared Moskowitz.